Hey everybody, welcome to the 190th episode of Super Joystick Radio, a weekly gathering of friends here to talk about all things video games. My name is Andy Halder and I'm joined by one of my favorite party members, Justin D.
What's going on, buddy?
Today we'll be discussing the Epic vs. Apple trial, new entries into the Video Game Hall of Fame, and another nail in the coffin for Google Stadia? Perhaps. But first, what have we been playing? Justin, you want to take us off?
Yeah, for sure. So, 2 weeks ago, we talked about the demo for this game, and I just had to own it. So I went out and got Resident Evil Village. So
nice.
Resident Evil 8, yes. I did beat the entire game. I streamed every second of it, and it is a fantastic game. I do feel like parts of this game did drag. It breaks it up into a few different sections. The demo that we got was the very beginning, where we're in the town the first time around, and then also in the castle there. And I would say after the castle, there's a few parts that kind of seem a little draggy with like the sort of the second and the third boss that you run into. However, you know, I think the ending of the game and the beginning of the game were so fucking good that kind of, you know, washes out that middle part that I wasn't like, I was like, I could have dealt without it. Now there are some crazy twists in this game, and I won't spoil them. You know, if you want to look into a spoiler cast, if you want to watch my entire stream, you know, you can spoil it that way. I'm not going to spoil it over the thing. I loved all the fights. You know, it builds up really good because you typically will run into 2 to 3 enemies, and by the end of the game, because you've amassed your own personal, you know, horde of weapons, you easily take on 12 to 15 enemies, and even that can still be pretty intimidating.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it can be pretty nuts. I will spoil one thing: you never get to turn into a werewolf, which is a huge fucking bummer.
Boo.
I know, especially since the cover of it, you have, half your face is a werewolf. Like, unless there's something I missed completely. But
well, you'd
I don't
think that would be unmissable if that were
right. You'd think it would be story, like canon.
Maybe DLC.
Maybe, possibly, but that
would breathe some life into it. I'll tell you that. But it is kind of, it would be an auto mission, right? Because especially like you said, they have it on the cover.
I don't want to give anything away about the game, though. So okay. I'm going to say that DLC probably will never come.
Not happen. Okay.
Yeah, it won't happen. And I was straight hoping for that. Yeah.
Thank you for not revealing that.
Yeah, I tried. I don't know if I did it that successfully, but I would have loved that werewolf fight. I think that would have been epic. Like, it would have just been, it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
right.
it would be so different. I mean, it would really change up the game. I mean, it'd be like one of those things where you play like, half of the game or 75% of the game, then all of a sudden, boom, they introduce this mechanic that just completely makes it feel like a different game. Like, yeah.
Well, what's crazy is they introduce new weapons the entire time. Like, even up through the fourth chapter or so. Like, just before you fight the boss there, they give you like 3 or 4 brand new guns. Actually, I think it's just 2. Yeah, just 2. But I mean, still, like, and then you have to fully upgrade those, and you run out of money super fast with those guns, and because you're also at the very end. So unless you're like stockpiling money, there's no way you're going to upgrade it. But
second playthrough, maybe? Do they let you do a new game plus?
No new game plus, from what I've seen so far. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you're going to talk about this too, but since you're talking about weapons, I had a question about ammo management. Is it like a traditional Resident Evil where it's the ammo's scarce?
No.
Oh, that's nice.
I mean, there were times where like I felt like I was running out of ammo, but I had a lot of stuff that I could just craft it.
Okay.
Yeah, so crafting is pretty big in this one. It's expensive to buy it from the big jolly vendor guy or whatever like that. But he sells all the ammo there, and it, like I said, it is pretty expensive. I would say that if you carry around 4 different types of weapons, and you're not like carrying 2 different types of pistols that use the exact same ammo, or 2 shotguns that use the exact same ammo, you only ever get the 1 sniper rifle that I found. So you get 1 grenade launcher, and then there are other weapons too that you can unlock later on. After you've beaten the game. So that's kind of cool. Like, it kind of gives you an incentive to go back like with an assault rifle and just like see how crazy you can just mow down these zombie things.
Is there a chainsaw?
There is not a chainsaw.
Okay. Any other cool blunt weapons?
No.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't get like a sword or an axe or anything. You just get this wimpy ass knife.
Yeah, I remember that from the demo.
Yeah,
which is pretty much useless, right?
Yeah. It's decent for killing livestock because they have food in the game that you can craft to like these like meals that give you permanent buffs.
Oh, that's cool. Permanent
buffs.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. Yeah, permanent buffs. Yeah, food.
That's weird.
Food permanent buffs. Yeah.
Huh.
And it's better to use the knife there to kill the animals than it is to try to like use a why waste the ammo on an animal?
Don't waste your ammo.
Exactly. There was a cool ass knife that you get for like 3 seconds and then like you drop it.
Whoop.
I know. And I'm like, oh, I can't go find it. Like I spent this entire time going through this entire section just to find this knife, and well, now it's gone.
Yeah.
So I wish that knife would be back in the game. Now the puzzles in the game are very reminiscent of a previous Resident Evil, and like I said in the demo, I had run into a puzzle that really pissed me off with the ring that you had to pull apart, and then you got the eye to fill into the socket of the painting or whatever it was.
The examine the inventory puzzle.
So yes, the puzzle inventory is fun. And then there are a few other basic ones, but overall, nothing was overly complex. But like I said, again, the prices for guns and upgrading them is just next level kind of stuff. And you kind of want to do that because there is a feature after you've beaten the game that unlocks, and I'm going to talk about this here in just a little bit more detail in just a moment. But also there's clips.
Oh yeah, that's right. Doy. Sorry about that. Yeah.
No worries.
I'm new. Yeah, we do show the clips now.
Yes. So this was me. This is kind of a boss-ish character or whatever like that. No, I'd call him a boss, but he's not significant to the story at all. So I was like, you know what? I'll have some fun with it.
It looks like some people left some of those explosive barrels conveniently lying around.
I know, right? And I've got this like crazy bat thing that I've got to deal with. But this big ass motherfucker, he is no fun. Anyways, so I was just saying, yeah.
Nice. He just blew up.
Yeah, he's got this giant axe, and there we go. Oh. Missed me. Haha. So anyway, these puzzles are great. And again, there's a bevy of guns. Like I said, you pretty much are your own walking arsenal of just weapons. Like, if you needed, if you have like 12 guns by the end of the game, if you really want them all. But so I really enjoyed it again, but you're still getting new weapons up until, like I said, the 4th boss. So you have to like stockpile money if you plan on upgrading it. Because like I said, there's at the end of the game, there's what's called campaign points or completion points or something like that. It's CP. And what you do is you actually can use, watch this, one shot, headshot, boom, dead.
Nice.
Take that. So yeah, there's just a few, like this is another area where there's roughly 15 or so that just kind of like show up in like spawned waves. And this is a good time. Yeah, good old werewolves. So like I said, these campaign points or conquest or whatever completion points, they will unlock like the ability to mod the game slightly, where if you've unlocked the weapon and fully upgraded and got it with all of its like attachments or whatever like that, you can buy unlimited ammo for that specific weapon.
Oh, nice. For
a certain amount of CP. So that's a mod that you can just chunk
cool.
chunk in there. Yeah, and so then you never have to craft for that weapon ever again, which is pretty cool. So that would
I like that mechanic too. Like you can earn, as long as you're through a certain portion of the game, you can earn the ability to do stuff like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure it blocks your access to trophies and stuff though, right?
I didn't check how many trophies there are. Let me see how many trophies. I'm sure that it probably doesn't. I'm sure it doesn't block trophies necessarily.
Sometimes it does.
You're right. Well, there are like with Tony Hawk where there was a trophy.
Yeah, you can't have perfect balance on and stuff like that.
Right, like the mods or whatever like that. But I think that once you've beaten the game, let me check my trophy status on this game. Let's see where I'm at.
Or maybe it doesn't let you do it with like hard mode trophies. Yeah. Like if you beat it on hard, you have to do it without mods or something.
Something of that nature. Looks like I've earned 22 trophies out of the possible 50 that are there. So I've only gotten about 30%. So I'm not going to platinum this one. There's no way.
Yeah.
No way. But but you get a lot just by the first playthrough. So maybe there's a thing where you have to buy everything that's available in that extra bonus thing. I don't know. I don't know. I'll take a look at that maybe at some point down the road. But I don't think so. Anyways, I love the fact that there are so many different enemies. And they really went for it. I mean, there's a crazy blob monsters, there's a demon fish, there are werewolves, vampires, zombies, there's a giant bats, there's these crazy mecha zombie things that have like drills for their hands.
Weird.
Dude, it's wild. They have puppets, locust bitches, they got giant bosses. I mean, like
giant vampire ladies.
Yeah, I mean, like straight up, I mean, like I just wild. The amount of like characters to fight alone in this game is just crazy. So
that's good.
Yeah. So what I wanted to mention too is with this game, it ties into 7. So if you didn't beat Resident Evil 7 or didn't play it, I would say you would want to play that first before you get into this game. Yeah, because it really sets the foundation for this game.
Okay.
It explains sort of, so it kind of ties them together. And I think the twist would have paid off more overall if I had played 7 through its entirety. Now, I started playing 7 a little bit just before 8 came out, kind of as a goof. I know 7 is pretty jumpy, and so I wanted to play the jump scare. This one I would say is not as jump scare. Like, I did not jump as much as I jumped in 7 so far. Like, there were times where it got a little scary. Like, people would just pop out of corners or whatever like that. I'd be like, whoa, and then I just like shoot my gun like crazy.
Yeah.
But so like here, like there's a big guy with like, and so I'm like, I'll switch to my grenade launcher. Like, there's options, and it's not as like terrifying. Like somebody bursts through the wall or whatever like that. And you're like,
and trying to stab you in the face.
Right, exactly. So here I go to town with shotguns galore. But overall, this is a solid game. Hands down, probably the best game I played all year so far.
Oh, snap.
Yep. So
well, what are you going to call it? Do you think it possibly could be
Game of the Year? I absolutely think it is. This is actually one of my favorite fights too that you're showing right now.
Hey, that's a chainsaw.
It is a chainsaw. Yes, you can.
You're
it
in
actually
like
blocks.
You're in like a mech.
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
Yeah, it's straight fucking Transformer versus Transformer, bro.
This is crazy. You guys got to get on the video stream if you're listening to the audio only podcast or version of this, and at the podcast, and check it out. This is crazy.
Yeah, I didn't show too much because I like this fight does change a little bit, and I didn't want to like give it all away. But yeah, this is hands down my favorite fight in the entire
game. I want to play this part.
Yeah, it's fucking killer.
I might play this game just for this part.
Yeah. So I beat it in over 10 hours, and at least that's what the tracker said when I finished the game. It was like 10 hours and 22 minutes or something. And I guess that's kind of what IGN was coming in at with their reporting. They said that this game takes about 10 hours to beat as well as the average completion time.
Okay,
so that's the end of the clip, by the way.
Seems kind of that seems kind of short, 10 hours, but it's kind of in the sweet spot, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, any more than that could just be chugging along a bit too much. And I feel like I said, there was parts that I felt like it did drag a little bit. And again, I feel like I was able to get most everything cleared. Like I unlocked like nearly everything in that 10 hours and got all the treasures that were available. So yeah.
Okay.
That was fun. And then I would say that maybe I'd go back and play it again just to see if I could do it faster, because now I know where everything's at. Maybe beat it on a harder difficulty. Because like I said, that game does offer some challenges, and there's also like a mode that you can unlock with that CP points, which is like a survival mode, and it was like 100 points. So like I already unlocked it, but I haven't played it yet. So we'll see if I dip back into that. But I just have to say, poor Ethan and his hands. Yeah, he can't keep his hands like dude, in 7 he had his arm chopped off, and then he also like had like her like stab through his hand, and this time he gets a couple fingers bitten off or whatever like that. It's pretty crazy. Like
can't
the guy
catch
just
a break.
Can't catch him in his hands, man.
Can you? Is it spoilery? if you reveal how he keeps getting his fucking hands back?
I mean,
I'm confused.
At one point, he literally has his hand completely severed. Like he's reaching for like a switch to turn on, and I'm not gonna say who, but some person cuts his entire hand off. Like, and literally, like there's just a stump that he's got.
Well, that happens in 7 too, right? This is supposed to be
exactly. Like I showed that clip from 7 where the girl Mia comes around the corner with a knife or with a chainsaw and cuts his arm clean off.
Right.
And this one, it's also another kind of like moment where he loses his hand entirely, and he just picks it up and he attaches it, and then with his other hand he dumps like, I don't even know how he does it. Like
the
he just kind of like holds
or something.
Yeah, he like holds his hand like this and then dumps the antiseptic on top of it, and all of a sudden he can move again. And I'm like, what? I was like, it kind of at the end of it. Now thinking back, it does make sense why that would work, but I mean, I don't know.
Okay, there must be some kind of weird thing that we don't know about then.
Yes, with his biology. Yeah, we'll put it that way. Yeah,
right. But he's not a werewolf. Don't call him a werewolf.
He's not a werewolf. Yeah, don't call it a werewolf. But he honestly, I'll be honest.
Please don't. Just lie to us.
Right. His lines aren't really scripted very well. It's hard to make kind of an emotional connection with them. I'm going to compare this to Salt. And only having salt on your food, it enhances the flavor. But eventually that one flavor profile is going to get really old really quick. So
Cooking with SJR.
Yeah, right. He's just not very dynamic. He needs a little splash
He's a one-trick pony.
Exactly. He needs a little onion powder. You know, he needs some pepper in there. But
with the garlic. The garlic would be would double to protect him from the vampires, hopefully.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were garlic cloves hanging around in the village too, which I thought was pretty funny. That didn't stop the werewolves. Ha bitch, gotcha.
There you
go. So like I said, he's not very dynamic. He falls flat for sure. And then Chris shows up from Resident Evil 7. He's the military guy. And he makes an appearance because again the games are tied together. And his lines are a little over the top. He's this game's mega douche. That's what I'm gonna call him.
We need a soundbite for that.
Yeah, he
Mega douche
reporting. Optimus.
There you go.
Yeah, but I didn't really care for his character. He's just very aggressive all the time, and it's like a second away from like blowing Ethan away. Like, you know, like he's like he like catches Ethan around a corner and he'll like throw him to the ground and like put a gun to his head and he's like, I could have killed you, Ethan. I could have done it. I'm like,
well, why don't you then?
Right, just calm down. Like I said, my least favorite thing about this entire game is the elevators. The elevators ruined this game. I dreaded going on an elevator, not because it was a place for baddies to come get me. It was because it would take 1 to 2 minutes for me to load into the next area. Like I'd go down this mine shaft and I'd be stuck in this elevator for 1 to 2 minutes. And
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
It's ridiculous. I was like, if this is the way that like they wanted it to load, that's fine. But like, I would much rather just a black screen that says loading. Like, to be honest with you, this is like, because it's just it's a tight space. And there's literally nothing to do. So like it's a great opportunity for me to like look at my phone. It just takes me out of the game. And I feel like those moments could have been more cinematic. Like there could have been like a elevator drop where like it goes black for a second. Like it kind of freaks you out that there could be something.
Or like a little music. Doot, doot, doot.
Right. I would have loved some fucking music, bro. But every time I went to it, it is crazy. Now this could have been a really cool like ride and gun opportunity as well, like where like, you know, zombies are trying to get into the elevator and you have to like shoot them back or whatever. Like I don't know.
Henri in the stream chat said something that's totally true. You know it's a bad loading screen when you realize it is a loading screen.
Yeah, it was crazy. That's exactly what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how those elevators work in like the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. I wonder how quick the elevator ride is there.
Yeah, it's just like boo.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
That was too fast.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to say here is fuck the mutant fish. He is the boss in the third one. And I had some Jaws flashbacks, so I just kept wanting to say, "Smile, you son of a bitch." That's all I wanted to say. That was but that's my take on Resident Evil. It is a great game. Go fucking buy it. Yeah, support the series. It's great. It's good. What have you been playing, buddy?
Well, so I finally got Nier Replicant. So I know you talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but I got it from GameFly, which I was really excited about. It was kind of fun because I had Nier Replicant on my GameFly queue, and then I also had Returnal. So I'm like, ooh, whichever one of these comes is going to be, good.
Yeah.
And so I was really excited. But I was excited that it was Nier Replicant anyways, because I've been wanting to play it. I loved Automata, which, by the way, I wanted to point out and bury this for forever. I went on Google and I put in what's the pronunciation for Automata, and it is Automata. So boom.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't say Automata anymore. Okay. I'm calling you out in public.
Damn.
But I love you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It's okay.
We've been talking about it for a long time. Automata.
For sure.
All right. Anyways, so I do have some gameplay here as well. Roll that while I'm talking.
Roll that footage.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Yeah.
So it took me a little bit to get into this game. Definitely not like Automata, which like grabbed me immediately. I just thought they did a much better job of like engaging you in that game. But that is the second, or what is it, the second iteration or the second Nier game, or was there more? Was there Nier? Sorry, Automata. Was there Nier and then Nier Replicant and then Nier Automata?
No, Nier Replicant
is the original.
Is the original. Yeah, is Nier the very first one. And then Nier Automata. Yes, is the second in the thing. But it's like I said again, it's always been part of the same universe as Drakengard. So
there are other games, but
Drakengard, I believe, predates this because you're literally fighting like medieval armies with like dragons.
Okay.
So I think this totally predates everything, but
in the timeline you're saying.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. That's cool. So I'm about 12 hours into the game now, and I'm definitely really enjoying it. So after, getting into it and giving it some time to breathe, I'm like, okay, yeah, I see what they're doing here, and this is really cool. I like it. You can see a lot of where Automata got its genre melding from.
Yeah.
So, because in Automata, you got like side-scrolling shooting and, top-down and third-person, and like there's all these really cool, things that they do to kind of mix up the gameplay, which I really appreciate because it keeps the game feeling fresh the whole time. You can see where that kind of stuff developed from with Nier Replicant, but it is a lot. It's fewer and far between, it seems like.
Yeah.
But you might see some in this gameplay clip where it goes to like an overhead, view. And then later there's like a minecart ride that we're probably not going to get to here, where you're like shooting like turrets and stuff like that while, it's top down and you're shooting like these turrets in the station, while you're standing in the minecart, which is cool. So that kind of feels like, a different game too. But, yeah, it's really fun. There's also, I found this Automata for Johanna DLC. Mm-hmm. So Johanna is like your sister in the game.
Yep.
And the DLC, it just like I just saw it on the home screen of the PlayStation. I'm like, oh, that's cool, and it's free. So I downloaded it, and it adds some costumes and weapons from Nier Automata.
Nice.
And so at first, though, I'm like, that's cool, but I don't really want to use that because I want the like authentic game experience, for Remnant. I want my characters to look like they're supposed to look and everything. And the weapons, you actually get like the sword from Nier Automata, which is cool, like the real thin, like awesome blade that hovers, behind
the katana.
Yeah. And so that I wasn't gonna switch to it because it's like OP from where I was in the game, because all my weapons were like 100 damage or something like that, and this was 150. And I'm like, I don't want it to be too easy. But then I ended up getting to a couple of bosses or like enemies, big enemies that were really hard to kill, because I think you're supposed to go like upgrade your weapons and then come back later and kill them. But I'm like, I'll try with the the DLC weapons, and it still took a while. But I was able to kill some stuff that I probably otherwise it would have taken me even longer. So I'm like, that's fine. get
Nice.
some high-end rewards here and stuff. Yeah, here's one of the
Top
in the
down.
clip. It's like the top-down fighting sequence. Yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so the combat in general feels really good. You can easily sling magic while you're physically attacking enemies, and you've got both shoulder buttons and the 2 triggers, and basically all of them can be mapped to whatever you want, which is cool. Yeah. So there's an evade on the right trigger and a block on the left trigger, and I realized that you can actually take the block off, which I don't ever block usually, unless there's some mechanic for a boss or something like that. So I replaced the block with another magic spell thing, so that's pretty cool. So now I got three magic magic weapons or whatever all at once, which is nice. I was going to ask you though, which magic items are you using?
So using the turret essentially.
You got to use that one.
Yeah, it's clutch.
It's
especially for your long distance, and it doesn't take too much of your mana pool.
Yeah. And it doesn't. On a note, just quick note on that. It's it doesn't ever stop either, which is interesting. So even when you run out of magic, like you can still shoot.
Yeah.
And it just kind of like the magic bar just kind of stays down there, like it's infinitely regenerating, and you can't use it fast enough when it comes to the gun thing.
Right.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. I think the only thing that would happen is because as you're clicking it, you're seeing your mana stops regenerating. Mm-hmm. But when you do when you let go of that button for the turret, it does like a blast of 5 bursts or whatever, and that does take mana away from you. So I don't believe that if you are at 0, if it'll still do that blast.
I think it does actually. I was noticing that it does. Yeah, but it might not be as powerful. Maybe that's the thing.
Interesting. So no, I kept the block on. I didn't actually realize that you could do that until you just mentioned it just a few moments ago that you take it away, which I think is very cool. Mm-hmm. I do like the parry though, because when you can throw people off, because that's the whole reason I would ever block, is that's that high risk, high reward kind of thing, where if you block, especially one of the big guys, you throw them back and they're off balance, and then you fucking cut them to ribbons.
Oh, I didn't see. I've never even parried before, I don't think.
Yeah, it's literally just 1 second, like just before they hit you. If you just tap that block button, boom, it just immediately interrupts their attack. Yeah, it's kind of fun.
But I'm too busy rapid firing on all these fools before to be able to block. I'm usually far away too, so.
Right. I use the darts. So there's one where you charge up a dart, and you can get up to 5 or so darts those or whatever cool. like that. Those are a lot of fun. Just because they go for such a long distance. And then I had the hammer fist or whatever it is, where you get to punch them with this giant hand.
I love that.
Yeah, it's so cool. But I didn't. I never got to a point where I actually used it. I just really kept it. Like I said, I kept the 2, the turret and the darts.
Yeah, the fist uses kind of a lot of magic, but there's some other interesting things you can get. But I haven't really played around with them too much. But there's one where you can pop out a clone of yourself or something like that that'll distract enemies, and that's kind of cool. I think I just mapped that one, so I was gonna try that one out. There's another one that can absorb enemy magic, so while you're holding it and you get hit with magic or something. I'm not sure if it gives you magic or if it just doesn't hurt you or what it does exactly, but that sounded interesting also.
That is very cool.
So, yeah, and then I don't have this in my notes, but I did want to talk about it. Did you get into the words at all? There's it's basically the upgrade or the attribute system where you can put words, magic words, on different weapons and magic spells. Yeah. So it's modifiers for that. So you can upgrade your magic spells and your weapons using these, magic words that you put on. It's kind of like the program, the chips. Do you remember from Automata?
Yeah.
Where you could,
absolutely.
Yeah, so it's so for example, you can raise the attack, or you can raise your, blocking damage that you take, or things like that, basically. But you can put them on the magic too, which is cool. So you can increase the attack, increase or decrease the magic cost, which is cool. So it adds a little bit of that RPG element,
customization,
where you can kind of customize your stuff. So I like that, and I thought it was neat because I haven't seen anything like that before with magic words, and it's also cool because once you get them, it doesn't take anything you can put it on multiple weapons basically.
Oh, nice.
So but then they have magic specific ones and weapon specific ones. But if you've put it on your sword, and then you can put it on your other weapons also.
Nice.
So that if you switch in between them or something, you don't have to worry about managing quantities of them, which is nice.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, because it doesn't look like you have that in the notes, but how do you like it on the PlayStation 5?
I like it. It doesn't seem, that different from playing it on, PS4 or anything like that. So it still has loading screens. So I guess they didn't optimize it for PS5. A lot of games that have loading screens on PS5 are much quicker. I don't know if this one just was really long on PlayStation 4, but it doesn't seem, it's not noticeably like, whoa, that was super fast.
Right.
But, it's also not terrible. So whatever. I got used to it.
Right.
So the other thing is with combat, the targeting system is pretty fluid. What did you think about it? Like, basically you can just right click on the stick and then it targets an enemy and you can flip between them by flicking the stick.
I would say that I found it to be helpful against smaller enemies, and like when I was fighting like sort of a multiple amount of enemies, if there was like 4 or 5, it was great for that because I could easily just jump between them. When I was up against a boss, that was when it became a little bit more challenging, and I experienced that when I was fighting that big like 12 booby chin thing
lizard
creature
thing.
Because you could target either of his claws or his face, and I for some reason got hung up on his face. On his face, but I was trying to attack his hand. Especially when like the hand falls on the ground and like you got like that limited time to like attack it for free, like it's like free damage, and if you do it, like it'll stop him from regaining ability. Like I don't know, it's just a way to like it's a like a timer, like you've got to get to it as fast as possible, and so like that was one thing that I noticed, that it can get hung up a little bit, but for the most part I would say that you're right, it does feel very fluid. It can easily switch between an enemy right behind you versus one right in front of you or off to your left or your right, so it does make planning your attacks and making sure that every time you hit the attack button it connects with something. So I would say that it does.
Sorry,
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, one thing that does annoy me about it is once you defeat like some of the enemies, like in a little group, there might be one that's still a little farther away, and for some reason it doesn't seem to automatically turn on the targeting for that. So like you might think the fight's done, but there's something behind you, and then you have to like click the stick again to like turn it on. That's a little annoying, but for the most part it's okay. Let's talk about something else that's incredibly annoying. Did you get into the side quests? Because there is a ton. The minute
you're in that first village, like there's like 12 side quests that just open up, and we talked about one earlier that was a pain in the dick. Was the one where you have to deliver a package to this town across the plains, and you can't roll and you can't take it a hit, otherwise the package will break, and you've got to make it up to like a 2-story, like you're on this like wooden, like once you get to the area.
The clip you showed last week or the 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, where it was like all these rope bridges and stuff like that, and there's a bunch of enemies in there when you get there with this package if you've taken the quest. And like you said, one hit from the smallest enemy will break the package, of course. So it's like maddening if you try to go through there without taking one hit. Right. And but so I actually went in there and I got hit right away. Like I got hit. I rolled 2 before I even got there, and it broke. I'm like, fuck. So I went back and I got another one, because of course you can just keep going back to this quest guy and he'll keep giving you these packages that you keep breaking, which is hilarious. But so I'm like taking it into this area, and I get hit once, and I'm like, nope, not doing that. So I'm like, if that's if I have to go through this area with the enemies and deliver this package without getting hit, I'm just not going to do this side quest, because this is annoying. And you have to run all the way. It's really far. Like you have to run really far back to get the package. So I'm like,
and there's like 3 or 4 groups of enemies in between. Now, luckily, I got to the point where like I unlocked boar travel, so I could literally like jump on the back of a boar and like
cool,
it was really cool. So I could
that's a
wrangle
pain in
them
the
up.
ass fight, by the way. That you have to kill a boar, and then you get his tusk, and then from then on, no boars will attack you. But you can also, there will be one at the entry of every area, like open area, and then you can ride them then at that point. Yeah, which is cool.
It is cool. I did enjoy that feature. It was a fun little like like horse, free horse.
I totally cheesed that battle, by the way, because there's like this ridge out in the open area that you can stand on, and yeah, and the boar can't get up there, so he'll just keep charging the wall. And I just sat there. It took forever. I just sat there with my the gun magic or whatever, and I just shot him. Yeah, it probably took like 5 minutes. It was annoying. But if the boar hits you, if he charges and hits you, I think twice, then you're dead. Yeah. Yeah. And even if your health is a little bit, like if your health is a little bit low, it takes so much damage that you just die. So if you've like gotten hit by something else and you haven't replenished your health and you think you're good, you think you can take one hit, you're not good.
Yeah. I died a few times. I actually, right where he's at, there's a couple rocks, like big boulders or whatever like that. So I stood on like the tallest boulder, like out in the middle of the field. And I was like, okay, well, it's a boar. It's not going to be able to climb up on a boulder. And so it starts to dash, and the motherfucker dashes straight through me on top of the boulder. Like he like somehow climbs it. I'm like, what? You shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
And it was gimmick too, because like he got to like the base of the boulder, and then he looks like he was like frustrated, like he couldn't get over it, and like it was like glitching hardcore. And then all of a sudden he just hits me, and I'm like, what? Like he wasn't even anywhere near me. How did that happen? Right. I was super pissed about that. And so I would duck around the thing. Now, was it a little did you play the tutorial in the beginning where you're in the store?
I did, and you go up like 10 levels and
you go up like 40 levels in that 1 second. I'm like, oh dude, I was like, this is gonna be so awesome. Yeah. Like you'll unlock new abilities like super fast. I was like, can't wait to see how powerful my character is. Like within like
yeah, I'm like, oh, this is one of those games where you get to like level 300 or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's just the tutorial, and you start the game and you're actually at level 1. You're like, oh.
Yep.
And then you don't level up that fast.
And then it's super slow. Yeah.
It's annoying.
It is.
But it's a good game still.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this clip, we're seeing robots, which is cool. So it's like they do have robots in the game. So I was like really excited about that because I love automata and everything. And I'm like, awesome robots. And then I start fighting them, and they're like, these old kind of like Star Wars feeling, like run down, very used like robots, which is super cool. It's like you're not fighting these flashy brand new robots. They're just like these ancient, strange, blocky,
they're much blockier than what in Automata is.
Yeah, for sure. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Did I say it wrong again?
I wasn't paying attention that time.
Okay.
We'll have to go back and check the tape.
Nope. No, we won't.
If he said automata wrong, type it in the chat there. Call him out. Don't let him get away with this.
The heresy.
Yes. So the boss fights, like you showed a couple of weeks ago, are pretty epic. So I've had a few boss fights. There's one at the end of this area that I'm showing you here, but we're not going to get to it because it's already re-looped. But they're cool. There's multi steps usually, and it's like very Zelda-y where you have to shoot. You have to attack like certain areas, and and then other areas become available to attack and things like that. Like you were mentioning, like the hands and the mouth of the booby beast or whatever we're calling it. But yeah, so that's cool. I love epic boss battles. And the music, it must be said, is absolutely fantastic. Which I would expect nothing less from these Nier games. It's just great. I love it. I could listen to it while I'm not playing the game and be happy.
I'd be really excited to go to like one of the concerts that are for these for the Nier games.
That would be amazing. Yeah, I would totally do that. So if you're listening, let us in for free.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, I'd say Nier Replicant. If you like it, don't be thrown off by the terrible name version 1.22474487139 ... Because that doesn't do it justice. It is a great game. If you like action RPGs, I would definitely recommend that you give it a try.
Nice.
But anyways, let's keep things moving with News Bites.
Oh, yeah!
Nom, 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 nom. Delicious.
Tasty.
Give me the bites.
Put some cheese on it.
Delicious. Fry them. All right, so let's get started here. We got Sony and Discord are partnering to integrate their services on PlayStation. What?
This is so funny to me because like it happened like 2 or 3 days after we reported that they walked away from the Microsoft table, and I'm like, what did Sony offer them? Like was it like blowjobs like for like days? Or like what was it? Like they turned down Microsoft for $10 billion. Like what did Sony's come back and be like, yeah, let's get together? Like what?
Yeah.
How did they do that?
Well, it is interesting, and we should note that the Microsoft was an acquisition, so they were trying to buy Discord, and
True.
This is actually just the companies partnering together. So clearly, to me, what that says is they want to move their platform into the console space and like integrate it, but they obviously want to retain ownership of their company. So they must believe that they're going to make more money than what Microsoft was offering them.
I can only imagine this probably made their initial evaluation of like $7.3 billion that it was like skyrocketed. I mean, I imagine they're probably worth, I don't know, depending on this partnership and what it comes of it. I mean, I could see probably 12, 15 billion at this point now. Just
buy.
Right, exactly. I don't think they're public yet. So, but once they do go public, that would be something I'd invest in for sure.
There you go. Well, it's interesting to say the least. And so basically, just in the article, it talks, and this is from Destructoid, by the way. In the article, it talks about one of the Sony guys saying both the Discord and the PlayStation teams are hard at work connecting Discord with your social and gaming experience on PlayStation Network. So that sounds cool. Like maybe we'll have Discord logos in our party chats and stuff like that.
That'd be cool.
And to be able to bounce back and forth, like if you want to walk away for a minute, you could just pop up your phone maybe and sign into PlayStation and on the app and like just be part of that, keep that chat going.
Yeah, for sure.
Coming early 2022, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like I was gonna say, like I know that you can't like use the app to communicate. I don't think you can't use the app to communicate, right?
Discord?
No, for sure you can use Discord. I use that all the time.
Oh, PlayStation? You can actually. You can already do that, yeah.
Oh, so
I guess it wouldn't be any different.
Yeah.
Except it'd be on Discord, so I don't know.
Right.
I'm stupid.
Maybe it'll be probably a better system or
better experience, hopefully.
Yeah, better experience, and that's the ultimate goal is to make it better for everybody. So
the party chat's pretty good actually on PlayStation anyways. And me and Schmed were playing the other week, and we have on the PlayStation 5, you have the little microphone and speaker, which is cool. So you don't actually need to like grab anything if you get, jump into a party chat. You don't have to go grab your headphones or anything. It's just, automatically coming through the controller speaker, but it's kind of hard to hear, especially, if there's other people or babies screaming like at my house. Right. So we tried going onto the app and on PlayStation, you can, just do it right there, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
So I guess I don't know what this is going to bring, but I'm excited to see, the possibilities, I suppose.
Nice.
Yes.
Honor with the fact checks. What's up?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Honor says PSN used to require a separate app for messaging, but I think they combined them recently. I think you are right.
Yeah, when it got like a facelift or whatever like that.
But I do remember that. They had a discrete messaging app, so you had to go in there. Kind of like Facebook did, I think.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep things rolling here. This one I just absolutely love. Pulls at my heartstrings.
Yeah.
Modder puts Barney inside the Resident Evil demo.
Yeah.
Did you watch this? It's so
funny.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's so great. I saw this on IGN reported on it, and I saw this and I just started laughing. I was like, that is terrifying.
Yeah, it is. It's funny. And the Barneys bleed and all that stuff. And they stumble around because they were showing like the zombies that were in the dungeon area of the demo.
Yeah.
And it's just, they looked really good too, by the way.
Yeah, they really did.
Yeah. But it totally harkened me back to the days of Doom and, first seeing that people had modified Doom to have Barney in it and you were like blowing him to bits. That was just so cool back in the day because that wasn't really a thing. Like modding, no one, it wasn't a thing. It just wasn't. Right. And so it might have been done before that Doom, but that was really cool. So I thought it was a nice callback to see Barney, the evil dinosaur in Resident Evil.
Now, do you know if this next clip that we're going to talk about here, was it the same modder?
I don't know.
Okay, so they also modded
somebody
lady,
modded.
Yeah, someone modded it. We're not sure if it was the same person that did the Barney, but lady, I can't say her name.
I know. I was going to attempt to do it here. Where is it here?
Dimitrescu?
Dimitrescu? Don't they say it in the game?
They do, but I don't pay attention to it. It's way too challenging. It's like something Italian.
Anyways, the tall vampire lady. That's who we're talking about.
Yes, the one that everyone fetishizes.
Yes. So so I ran across this and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I have to see this. And also the screen was terrifying of it, where the lady, the tall vampire lady, they replaced her face with Thomas the Tank Engine's face.
Yeah, and even the caboose too. Like it extends out the back
does
of her.
It? I didn't notice that.
Oh, it's so funny. It's like it's hilarious. Like literally the Thomas the Tank Engine, like
in her face.
In her face. Like it's so funny.
Yeah, you have to go see it if you're not. Well, I guess we're not showing it here anyways. I don't have that set up to show, but you got to check it out. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Hey, if you're one of our patrons that pays the $3, you can check it out in the notes.
There you go with the show notes, or you can just Google it. But you should help us, support us.
Yes,
support SJR. All right, let's
smash
move on
that
here.
like.
All right, you got this one. This is exciting.
Yeah, Bethesda's new game Starfield. That image has leaked.
Woo-hoo.
I didn't post any of it because there wasn't a whole. I mean, there was like 3 or 4 images, but like it's like they had like an image of like what the title screen will kind of look like. So
they had a picture of the character standing like in front of like some kind of utility area or something like that.
Yeah, I mean there was just a couple that they posted, or that leaked or whatever. But yeah, super stoked. I am really excited about this game. This has been talked about for I want to say like almost 5 years at this point. I think since 2017 there's been a lot of talk about this game. But there are some rumors that are circulating right now with this game leak that they're thinking it's an Xbox and PC exclusive.
No.
This won't be coming to PlayStation. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, this could be one of the because this is going to be. I've also heard that it's going to be 2022, early 2022, and that this is going to be one of those E3 announcements, that's going to be on Microsoft stage exclusive.
I don't know. I don't buy it. I think it's going to be multi-platform. Maybe there'll be some exclusivity, and honestly, I'm going to play it on Xbox anyways because it's going to be on Game Pass day one probably. Right. So, I guess I don't really care. But I feel bad for Schmed because he's going to be eating his lunch because he's always up your ass about getting PlayStation 5.
Yeah. So this game could be one of the exclusives that
Was that from a reliable source or?
I mean he's been in the business for some time. So
okay.
I mean
Todd Howard called you.
Right, exactly. I talked to him directly. No, but I would say that it is a rumor. There are some rumors out there. We'll know more come E3, which isn't a month, man.
That's crazy. Is it really? Wow.
Fuck yes.
You're
yes.
Right. Actually, isn't it early June usually, like the first week?
I don't know. I mean, we're a couple weeks away. I mean, yeah, we're like it's close, man. It's
our
close.
Super Bowl, favorite time of year.
Yes, indeed.
Well,
is it our Super Bowl or is it like the draft?
It's like I think it's the Super Bowl.
Because the Super Bowl wouldn't the Super Bowl be the video game awards?
I guess. I don't know anything about sports ball. You know this. I shouldn't even be. I have no right to be making sports analogies. I can't yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. No, I mean you can view it however you want to view it, but I'm so stoked for E3 to finally get back to that. Concentrated like 3 or 4 days of just pure gaming glory. Like that. I can't wait. Still no word from PlayStation. I don't think PlayStation's going to be doing it this year.
They didn't. They haven't been though, right? Because
the last 2 years, I know that. I mean, they backed out because in 2019 they didn't have anything to show because in 2018 they showed everything. So they're like, why show you guys the exact same shit that we showed you? Right. We don't have anything new. So, there is that. And then 2020 was obviously COVID.
Right.
But for 2021, nothing. I'm surprised that, everyone jumped back on, everyone.
Well, we'll see. Let's not talk about it too much here, though, because we're going to definitely have a pre-show for E3. Yeah, we usually do like a pre-show, then usually one day for each, or one show for each conference or group of conferences. Like they have conferences on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday usually. But who knows what that'll look like this year, so we'll see. But I'm excited to talk about that.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm excited about Starfield, too. So this doesn't look like it does not look like they just took the Fallout engine. Yeah. It looks like it's built from scratch, so hopefully it should be a brand new, awesome game, and I guess we'll see if it's going to be exclusive or not.
Yeah. Yep. But hey, did you see the trailer for the new controllers?
The PS5 controllers. I
yeah,
did,
man,
yes.
those are sexy as fuck.
I mean, it's
man.
just all black. One of them, which is
one of them.
Yeah, the old default, right?
Yeah, but then you got the cosmic red, man.
That's cool. Yeah, the red. It's red and black, which is cool.
Yeah,
so you got two of them. I don't know. I still, a lot of people were throwing shade at the PlayStation for being white and black, but I'm digging it. I like it. I think it looks cool.
Yeah. I think the red one looks great. I feel like I don't understand why it's $5 more, because it's $70 for Midnight Black and it's $75 for the red. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird price difference, and I don't get that shit. And it's weird to me.
Clearly, the red dye costs $5 more.
Yeah, right. But I feel like they missed a chance to bundle this with a red, with taking the red controller, bundling it with a new Spidey game and a red console. I think a red console would have been fucking dope.
A red console would have been awesome,
right?
Damn it.
I know.
With Spider-Man, too. That's a good... But, they can't make enough consoles to sell, so...
I know, right now, there's so much of a shortage. It's crazy.
It is.
And we'll get to that pretty soon. But speaking of Sony, did you hear that they're working on 25 PlayStation 5 exclusive titles? And that's PlayStation 5. Now, there'll probably be some ones that bleed over to the PlayStation 4 and the 5, but the fact that there are 25 titles and at least 12 of those are brand new franchises.
That's crazy. Yeah, brand new franchises.
Amazing.
That's nuts. They've always got a lot of irons in the fire. They were the original owner of studios. They have worked really, really hard to build a portfolio of awesome studios that time and time again deliver AAA titles, like the biggest in the industry, award winners. So
except for Days Gone.
Yeah. That's true.
I just had to hit him there a little bit from 2 weeks ago.
Jab.
Right. When he jabbed all of us for not buying their game on day one.
What a dick.
I know.
Well, I'm excited. Let's see what comes.
For real. And that, again, it kind of harkens back to what we talked about a couple weeks ago, where they had brought up the fact that they were investing so much money kind of, under the table, not under the table, but not being very flashy about it. They were they were investing into all of their studios to make sure they were going to put out some solid games. Now, again, not all of these are confirmed that they're exactly first-party games. So Sackboy and Returnal, they got released under sort of the PlayStation Studio umbrella, but those studios aren't owned by Sony themselves. So these are obviously PlayStation exclusives, but, they necessarily aren't,
Right. First party necessarily.
Right, exactly. But
that's okay.
But we'll see. I mean, we know that... Naughty Dog right now is working on, I guess they're working on the remake of The Last of Us, which we all laughed at.
Blah.
And then I guess they're coming out with a multiplayer Last of Us game, like a multiplayer version of the game, set in the universe of The Last of Us.
Like a mass multiplayer game?
I don't know if it's
Please,
a mass
no.
one. I just hope it's not like a 76 kind of situation.
If it's a that wouldn't be good. But if it were like a co-op online thing, that would be cool. But you can't add a bunch of people into that environment, because that's the whole point, is the desolation and being alone and stuff like that.
Right.
So plus, I just don't like that. I mean, Last of Us is good, but I don't know. I just don't. It doesn't seem like anyone's asking for that.
Right.
So
I don't know.
We'll see.
All right,
keep it rolling here.
Okay, so get some clips from this, because over this past weekend, Final Fantasy had their fan fest. So they had one earlier back in, I believe, January. So this is begins with a cutscene. Me and my friends all got together. We were watching this as a live little
viewing party.
Together. Yeah, so it was a nice little viewing party we all got together to do together. And so this is going to be the new expansion. We talked about it once before, called Endwalker. I believe it was back in January they may have done it, or February was the first one. And so this was the second one they did. These cities look beautiful. I can't wait to go explore these. And they introduced a brand new class, which you'll see here pretty soon. The actual director of the game comes out completely all cosplayed out as the new brand new class, which is the Reaper.
Cool.
Super fucking stoked for that. So it's a brand new class to the Final Fantasy universe completely. There's not another class out there at any of the Final Fantasy games before it that will feature this. All the other games, I believe, had all these other classes to begin with. This is the first one that Final Fantasy 14 has actually developed for this game specifically. So that's really cool. We'll see, the new lore regarding that. But it's so cool. It's a scythe wielding melee class that actually channels energy from the Void Scent to unleash like hellish fury. Dude, it's a badass. Yeah. Oh, it's a badass class. It's kind of, I feel like this is the apology to fans for the utter shitfest that was Dark Knight. I love Dark Knight in Final Fantasy 11, but I didn't care for it in 14. They tried to make it a tank class, and it wasn't very enjoyable, at least to me. And it's one of those that is really good with mitigating magic damage, but it wasn't very good in physical. So it just depended on the kind of strat that you wanted to utilize. But anyways, this looks like some fucking redemption.
Jeez, dude, the imagery on here, I get that it's not in-game graphics, but like, just the imagery here just makes me want to play this.
Dude, it's so, and you can play it for free. You can play it for free. I think up to level 60.
Oh my gosh.
We got Tyler there in the chat now, and I believe he can confirm that. But I believe it's up to 60. You can play the original. I don't know. Best tank class, whatever, bro. I don't know. I don't play dark. I don't play dark. Fuck that garbage. I play warrior all day.
This looks awesome.
All day.
Is it only on PC then, or can I play it on console?
Oh, totally. PlayStation 5.
What?
Yeah, bro.
Oh man. All right.
Do it. Yeah.
I'm going to queue that up now.
So here we go. So this is, join us. So this is the director. This is Yoshi P, and he comes wickedly just dressed to the nines.
That's a lot of lights.
Cosplayed up. Yeah. Well, they were in it. They rented out like a stadium. They rented a stadium, and there's nobody at the stadium because of COVID. There's literally like people that are taking pictures, and it's like ridiculous. But like they rented out like a giant like where you'd go to like go see a concert. Yeah. So here's the trailer for the reveal of the Reaper. Cool. So I'm super stoked on this. Now, aside from the Reaper getting announced, there were some other new announcements as well too. Obviously, they showcased some of the new maps, dungeons, the main city. That trailer again is breathtaking. So you can see here as the Reaper just works over this little ghost thing with like these bluish greenish flames. It's just really cool.
Terrifying.
Yeah, I know. And then they talked about the new 24-man raid that'll be coming out here that'll actually feature the old gods of the realm, which is actually pretty cool because they hadn't really mentioned these old gods really before in any capacity, because there's something that you like in the very beginning when you're creating a character, you kind of get to pick like sort of like how people have astrological signs. Well, they have the exact same thing in Final Fantasy, and these are based off of the gods, these old gods that really don't play any factor at all in the game, but I guess they're actually going to finally do it, which is super cool.
This sidebar, this looks significantly less good than the CG trailer that we just saw.
Right.
In terms of the city, I'm just saying because they're showing the same city that was in the video previously.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, you'll never.
Bad,
I mean, no, it looks great. And they still got some rough edges, like the textures aren't there, and it wasn't like the cleanest, but once it is, I mean, it'll like be polished. So I guess like during the thing too, they talked about how initially when this game launched, and this was one of those games that launched and failed hard, like so hard, because it was under the director was different, and the vision of where they wanted to go with it, and the story was all fucking muddy as shit. So yeah, so that they said in the fan fest the other night that initially when the game was created, they were going to have 6 starting cities, and so that's fucking massive. Yeah. So when the game actually started, there was only 3. So the map would have had to been twice as big to support that many people. It's just wild. And then on top of that, you have to figure out like how are you going to like have 6 alliances fighting at once and like PvP kind of stuff. So they kind of tabled a few of these cities for expansions, and they kept the initial 3. So but yeah, no, that was really cool information that we found out there. Now they talked about the story, and really how that goes is there's always the main expansion, and then the story of that main expansion wraps up somewhere around the 3rd big update. So the way that would work, so last expansion that came out, it was 5.0, okay? And every every first number before the decimal is the expansion that it relates to. So when it's 5.0, it's relating to the fifth expansion. And so, and technically it's the fourth expansion because obviously 1.0 is the original.
Nerd alert!
Right, nerd alert. But anyways, typically it would go like 0.1, 0.2, and 0.3 of that specific expansion. So if it was 5.3, that would be the third chapter of that expansion. And so that would typically take about 9 months to about a year to get to that point. But that would be sort of when the expansion would wrap up. And then the chapters that would follow after that, which would typically be, again, kind of corresponding to that same kind of chapter idea of 4 and 5 before the next expansion. They never got to like 7, 8, or 9, or even 6. It just stopped at 5 and then immediately jumped up. It was like they were rounding up at that 5. So they would get to like 4 or 5, like 0.4 or 5, and then they would transition to the next expansion. And that would be sort of like your way of like walking you into that next part. So with Endwalker, however, it is just going to be 6.0. There is not going to be a follow-up story that, is followed by 6.1, 6.2, 6.3 to wrap it up. All that story is going to be contained in 6.0, which is actually really cool, which means it's going to be huge. And I would say that, Square probably takes a lot of heat because they put a lot of work into it, but if you are, dedicated and you play for a few hours, you probably could blow through the expansion in a week. And a lot of people are like give us more content. There's such a drought between when you put like actual story content in there, like we want more. And so I'm really excited to see, if they've taken that to heart and said, okay, well, we're just going to put all the storyline of 6 into the expansion, and then anything after 6 will be brand new story, which is actually really exciting of where they're going to take this. So
sounds cool.
Yeah, I am disappointed though that this did get delayed until November 23rd. So normally this game's expansions would come out in June, July, but again, thanks to COVID, it got pushed, which is fine. Again, I'd rather them come out with something that's, as you saw in the trailer there, it looked really, really beautiful. The CG was great. But then when you got to the city, you started seeing the person walking around, it was a little kind of grainy. Yeah. And so that's stuff that they still have to work on. But it was really cool to get to see a lot of that. And there's a lot more part of that 2-hour keynote speech. They go through a lot of maps and, a lot of different new art and everything. They also talked about how the collector's edition and everything else. And they went over a lot of that and what comes with it, which is pretty cool. There was a statue they're releasing as well as a bunch of art. So,
nice.
Yeah.
So that's 6 months out. That's in November.
November. Yeah, November 23rd. Yeah, it'll release that week of Thanksgiving, and it'll be, if you pre-order it, you'll get it on the 19th. You'll be able to play it on the 19th, so that Friday before. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. I dig that.
Is it included in Game Pass?
It is not, because it's not on Xbox.
Oh, it's not on Xbox at all.
It's not on Xbox at all.
Okay.
It's only PlayStation and PC.
All right.
So I'm still very surprised. And Tyler's right. The collector's boxes that they were selling for like $250 and like more sold out in 5 minutes. Like it crashed their actual systems, because when they were announcing it, we all were trying to get into the system just to see what like the pricing was and what was all included and everything. And it wouldn't load any game that Square had ever played, that ever made. So systems were crashed so hard, it was crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, still, I mean, you would think that as we're moving, forward with new generations and new systems, and we got rid of the PlayStation 3's kind of involvement in this game. It was $150 for that collector's box. That's pretty impressive, actually. Wow. Because it came with a statue. The statue was actually really cool looking. But anyways, yeah, I'm surprised that Xbox is still not on in the works for that. So
cray.
It's weird. Yeah, cray.
All right.
All right, well,
let's keep things moving. We
got
like 2 shows worth of news bites here.
I know.
I'm looking,
crazy.
And we're only like halfway through.
Yeah, it's what happens when we take 2 weeks off.
I guess so. The news never stops. This is a thankless job. Go to our Patreon page and help support us, please.
Right.
All right. Let's see. What do we have here? Google Stadia's head of product has left Google.
Yeah, that is a big blow.
So this is reported from IGN. You can check out the article there. Another blow to Stadia. All of their internal game design shut down in January, and now John Justice is gone. Is that his real name?
That is his real name. It's
That's
actually
hilarious.
a pretty badass name.
It is. It
sounds like a superhero.
Yeah, it doesn't even sound real.
Right?
Well, John Justice did not do justice to Stadia.
Yeah, or they didn't do justice by him. Maybe maybe because Google has a thing to be very googly, like their glasses they came out with or whatever. They kind of pull, they pull things. They come out with these cool ideas, and then they're like, you know what, we take that back, and they take, and then they kind of walk it back, or they don't send it to full market. And so I feel like this is again, Stadia is kind of like we're gonna try this out, but we get cold feet just before it really could like pick up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they never really let the market really like say whether or not it's proven or disproven by any means, and I don't know if they gave it a fighting chance. So
they didn't. They shot themselves in the foot, and they came out too early. They didn't need to release when they did. They should add more games. They need a subscription model where you get like a base, like Game Pass. Basically, they need that, and they really needed to deliver on that promise that you can, if you play a game on Stadia, it can provide experiences like no other piece of hardware. Because I've talked about this before, and the thing I was most excited about was to be able to play games through the service with the power of multiple nodes, right? So instead of having like one Xbox, imagine what kind of game you could play if you had 10 Xboxes working together to render all this stuff. You could be playing movie quality like Pixar, or Lord of the Rings CG caliber games. Like seriously, right now that's how they render those movies, is like using a crap ton of computers. So if Google Stadia could have pooled those resources depending on the game, and developers actually made stuff with that, that's huge. I would totally play everything on Stadia if the graphics were insanely better. Yeah. So it's really it's sad. It's sad to see. But, Xbox is probably going to do something with that with xCloud. I'm sure Microsoft's on it with Azure and all that, all their cloud-based stuff. They've already done a lot of cloud-based rendering and like talked about how they can make buildings look that are, getting demolished, like have all these tiny little particles and things and make it look super realistic. So one way or another, it's going to go down. I think Google had the opportunity to do it, and they kind of,
flubbed it.
Yeah, they kind of tripped at the starting line.
And then they probably saw, oh, wait, that Microsoft company that makes video games is going to compete with us? Oh, yeah, we should probably bow out.
Yeah, they put a lot of money into it, though. So
they did. They put a lot of money into a lot of different things, and they and like I said, again, it's very googly of them to just kind of drop out before that's really had to give it a chance. Like they didn't even let it be a success or failure. They were just like, nah, we're done.
Yeah. Googly mofos. Well, who knows? It might not be over, but it just, to me, after seeing these, multiple things over the last 5 months, it's seems like another nail in the coffin.
You're right. The writing's on the wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Yep.
All right. This one was cool. You put in here. Let's talk about something happy.
For sure. So 4 titles have been inducted into the World Video Game Hall of Fame.
Nice.
Yes. So these, you can find this, just Google, World Video Game Hall of Fame. And this one came from Kotaku, but there's like several different outlets that are reporting on it. But out of the 12 games that were nominated this year, Microsoft's Flight Simulator, the original, StarCraft, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, and Animal Crossing will be joining the ranks of former inductees, including Bejeweled, Oregon Trail, Mortal Kombat, and Pong.
Bejeweled.
Yeah.
It's a stain on the video game industry.
Hey, man, it's one that people, again, because this is good. Actually...
It brought people... My mom plays it, so, everyone and their mom plays it, and I guess in that, I want video games to spread like a disease like COVID to everybody. I think it's good for the industry to have as many gamers as possible. So in that way, It's good.
Well, you also think of all the stupid popular like combined
Flappy Bird.
Yeah, well, no, I was gonna say think of all the mobile games like Candy Crush and that bubble my wife plays another one, Toontown or something like that, where you're combining different of the same kind of colors to pop them, and that's the exact same thing you're doing in Bejeweled.
Yeah, it's a 4-way match or whatever.
Right, exactly. It's a match 'em up game or whatever, and you got to think Bejeweled really is possibly one of the first games to have done that.
That's true.
It literally developed into hundreds of other games that have become super successful and made companies millions upon millions of dollars.
Millions.
Millions.
No, that's a great point. So yes, I can see why it deserves that recognition then.
For sure. But other nominees part of this year's category was Call of Duty, the OG, Farmville, which was really
Facebook
strange.
Game.
Yeah, weird, but yeah.
That was huge though. I think
it was actually crazy big.
I think people actually got their kids taken away from them for playing that game because,
really?
I heard stories about people who could not stop playing it. It was so addicting that they were on there and neglected their children.
Wow.
And actually, people took them away. So the government.
Crazy. Yeah, I guess
Farmville, it'll destroy your life.
Exactly. Then they had FIFA International Soccer, Guitar Hero. Then they had Mattel Football, which was like one of the handheld football games. And then the Pole Position and Portal and Tron. So all of those games, there's 12 nominees, and out of that again, Flight Simulator, StarCraft, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, and Animal Crossing that did win. Now this it's kind of a newer kind of organization. So this started, the World Video Game Hall of Fame got started back in 2015. And so then each year it polls fans, journalists, and then industry experts to find sort of the best games of all time and sort of award those top games with those coveted spots. So, there'll be another, slew of inductees next year, which will be really cool. We'll just see who wins there.
Nice.
Let's talk about some lawsuits.
Woo!
The lawsuit of the year.
The funnest thing to talk about on a video game podcast.
Lawsuits. So we got Epic versus Apple, which is kind of developed. It's developed in sort of a new console war. I mean, obviously, Epic isn't like saying, "Oh, we want to be," our Epic store should be on, be available for your on your iPods or your iPhones and everything like that. Like you should be able to sell our thing.
They're not saying that. You're saying
that they're not saying that. What they're saying is that right now there is a heated lawsuit between the two where Epic has alleged that there's antitrust practices that Apple is participating in, where they're there's anti-competitive restraints and monopolistic practices, because Apple has its own infrastructure. You have an iPhone, you have the App Store.
Yep.
And so because
same
Epic
with Android, obviously.
Right, exactly. And because Epic doesn't make its own phone,
yet.
They're saying, yet. And
when are they going to have the Fortnite phone?
No, honestly, that could be something that does come up because
that's crazy.
Because if you think about it, the whole reason they're saying that it's anti-competitive and that it's monopolistic because they have a platform just like that where they can sell games and apps.
Right.
They've got the Epic Store, and so they want to be able to sell their games and not have to pay such a big cut, which Apple is taking. No, Kaidi, no.
30%, right?
30, yeah. So Tyler just said Android for life, and I said, nah, not a chance.
Oh, you better be careful. You're going to piss off half of our viewers.
That's true. We do have just 4.
So you've made one enemy already.
Nice. He knows that I hate them.
There's 4 live viewers, but
yes,
there will be more.
There will indeed be more. Don't take any offense. If you like Android, I don't think less of you. I just think that, your phone is vastly inferior.
You should hear him before the show, before we start recording. He's always like just shitting on Android users.
Just the phones. I just don't care for them. I like I've been Apple for life.
Schmed is like a notorious Apple fanboy, and he talks mad shit about Android people, which I think is funny.
Yeah. But Apple does take 30% of every in-app purchase made through the apps.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it does seem high, right?
It does, but this is also the case for Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony.
Mm-hmm.
So they all take cuts from in-game purchases, and so it's kind of an industry thing. The platformer is taking 30%, you're keeping 70%. Now Microsoft recently said that they were actually going to scale that back a lot for indie developers, which is really cool. And I guess Apple has also cut back depending upon if you make. I believe it's capped at like $1 million. If you make over $1 million in app sales, then you're at that 30% bracket. If you make under that $1 million, it's at a lower bracket. So it does have some flexibility, but because Epic Fortnite is so huge, and they make hand over fist in money. That's the reason why there's such a they're locking, they're fighting.
Right.
So because this comes from Apple pulling Fortnite from the iPhone back in August
of last
year.
About that.
Yeah, because they violated. It's because Epic violated the terms of the agreement for the App Store, because they were
were they selling things in the app and they weren't.
Well, no, they were selling things from their website to go to the app.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so like you could buy it, like, because your ID is located with the Epic,
right?
Your Epic account, and you could buy things on your Epic account, like on like the browser, and you could circumvent like going around selling things through the app, which that's how Apple would get money. So yeah, they got pulled. So that's the whole reason why this lawsuit's come up, is because iPhones are such a huge market
staple
for them.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so if they lose that money market, they're losing out on a lot of money. So I don't know.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know.
We'll see what happens. We are following it. We have someone on the ground at the
yes,
waiting outside the courtroom.
Right, exactly. I want to say that this is week 4 that it's been going on. This is week 3 or 4 now at this point, so it's pretty intense.
Nice.
Yes. You had this next one, right?
I do, yeah. This is kind of related. So something that came out of the Epic versus Apple trial is the Epic boss says Sony charges publishers a cross-play fee under certain circumstances. So this was reported by Eurogamer.net. So basically Sony wants publishers to pay an offset cost for lost revenue when a PlayStation Network player purchases Fortnite content off platform. So like you were saying, it's a PlayStation player, but they're going to buy their content on Epic's site. Mm-hmm. Sony's missing out on that revenue, and so they want a cut of it, basically. If it's not in all circumstances, but it's basically like if, and this is really complex, so I'm probably going to butcher it, but it was something along the lines of like if the variance was a certain amount or something like that, then they wanted like the difference or something. So
right.
It seemed somewhat reasonable to me, but I was just looking at it from, a business perspective. It totally makes sense. I can understand why, if you're looking at it from a consumer's perspective, like a gamer, it's going to seem shitty. But at the same time, it's a free to play game. And the only way that anybody makes any money off of it is by in-game purchases. So
right.
If Sony's letting you play the game for free on their platform, which does obviously have costs,
right.
To run it and everything like that, but they're not getting any or getting less of that revenue that the game is generating, then that, to me, that doesn't seem fair from a business
right.
perspective. So, and now if they sold the game, then it might be a little bit different. Like if you had to pay to play Fortnite, like you had to purchase the game,
right?
And then Sony got a cut of it then, and then didn't get anything from stuff sold outside
right.
of the platform. I think I would agree with that. That would be all right.
Right.
Yeah. That's all.
No, it totally makes sense. No, totally. No, that makes plenty of sense. I mean, again, it's just that people are finding, companies are finding ways to circumvent that whole entire circumstance where, again, this is the infrastructure that Sony's built so that you can have multiplayer games,
right.
Work properly for free. And, they just want what's kind of owed to them, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Put in the comments what you guys think, though. Are they shitty?
Sure.
Is Sony just a bunch of assholes? We'll see.
Right. But another thing that came out of it was Xbox has never turned a profit when it comes to their consoles.
Whoa.
So that was crazy. So like a lot of documents, and a lot of companies had to take the stand during this. And
mm-hmm.
so this is kind of one of those big highlights there that, Xbox has been in production for, nearly 20 years at this point,
mm-hmm.
and they've yet to turn a profit on any of the systems. That's just wild.
It is.
So
it is. Well, it kind of seems like bad business, but again, like Microsoft has always been moving in this direction, or at least, not always, I suppose, but within like the last 5 years of becoming a service. Like they want to be games as a service. They don't want to be hindered by, hardware platforms and tech specs and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it makes sense. They're marking thetheir console down as low as they can so that they can sell units, so that they can sell games, because everybody knows that games are where the money makers actually.
Right.
But that is kind of disturbing. I mean, because Sony still makes money, Nintendo still makes money. not a ton, like the margins aren't crazy huge, but
right.
Are they just buying? Are they putting too much tech in it? Are they not getting a good enough deal on the, parts or things like that? Like, what's up?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. Like when I heard that, that again just brings it back to the thing. Like if from Xbox point of view, if you just want to be a sort of a software, kind of a games for service kind of thing, and get out of the console making, there should just be one console. Like honestly, just
no.
I think there should be just one console.
Horrible,
like just
terrible.
I disagree. I think that it creates the mindset of like a, sort of a one ring to rule them all kind of thing. But you could have all these different platformers no longer being subjugated to just like an Xbox exclusive or a PlayStation exclusive or a Nintendo exclusive. You just have one console plays all of it.
And if everybody in the world just held hands and sang Kumbaya, then it would be a perfect place, wouldn't it?
Hey man, I'm just trying to promote some peace and love, bro.
No, but see, here's the problem with that, and we should totally do this as a main topic in the next couple of weeks or something. So I'm not going to talk too much about it, but just to throw it out there. When you have that, when you don't have competition, then that's when you have monopolies. That's why monopolies are bad, right? So if you have one video game console, first of all, that's never going to happen because all these companies are not going to agree on the specs of the platform, the cost of the platform. Like, they all want to be in control of that and make money on that too. But you're also going to, if that did happen, then you would see a decline. Like people it wouldn't be pushing the boundaries. Like nobody would be doing anything different. It would all go into like a gray, shitty situation, I think.
I mean, I totally can see that. And it obviously would cut down on like the ability to be mobile, like the Switch. Unless there was like an add-on.
It would be like the Switch, right? Because then that would be, they'd all agree. All the companies would agree that it needs to be a mobile / dockable console.
I suppose. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, because PlayStation just tried to do the portable.
And VR. And you have to strap it to your head too.
Right.
And then you also have to get rid of computers.
Right.
Or it would be a computer too.
Right. It would be a computer. It'd be a supercomputer.
Yes.
Oh, hey, look at that. Do we want to become famous? We could buy followers.
Oh, cool. I'll ban you.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck you, buddy.
Ban.
Right there. Suck my dick. I'm not buying
if
followers.
I ban them from the chat, or can they still be watching?
I don't know.
I hope so.
Watching.
I hope so, because you just called that person a dick, and I want them to know they're a dick.
How dare you interrupt our conversation?
Yeah, about monolithic consoles.
Right?
The one console to rule them all. All right, we got to keep this moving, buddy.
For sure. We got a few more things. Okay, so so the other thing too here for Xbox is they thought that The Last of Us Part 2 is a masterpiece. So there was like their developers within Xbox that thought that game was the tits.
Good. I'm glad they can be fair about it.
Right, exactly. And they also thought that Breath of the Wild 2 was coming out in 2020. So
didn't?
that was. Yeah, right. I was hoping it was, but we'll see. Hopefully, we'll find out some more news about that at E3. But to continue on, Fortnite. Again, this is
Fortnite.
Fortnite. So it's not necessarily a shooter roundup, but it is again from the
Tales from the Fort.
Yes, Tales from the Fort. It's from the Epic case. So Fortnite has brought in over $9 billion in profit for Epic since its launch. But
Crazy.
The Epic Game Store has yet to turn a profit. So the Epic Game Store itself, it offers free games on a weekly basis. It's been roughly costing them about $11 million a year.
Jeez.
But I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they've just not been profitable. But Epic, I mean, like I said, their Fortnite game is crushing it. Mm-hmm. So, good on them. But it's just wild to hear like that store is not making them any money.
That's crazy. Well, they're using it. They're trying to build it up to be, the next big game
Steam,
store.
Kind of.
Steam. Take out Steam.
Yeah. Yep.
They're really attacking everybody, huh?
Yeah, they are. They're really going for it all. I might as well just kind of move this one up here. But Epic Games, kind of just to follow back on that, their weekly game was revealed. So right now you can currently get Lion Song, which is available through the 20th. However, this week we were teased with a mystery game. And that actually will get revealed here on the 20th when Lion Song goes away. And the last few times that they've done this, what's happened is they've put out some big fucking games there. So like the last couple times they've done that, it was like Civilization 6 was the free game for that week. Grand Theft Auto 5 was the free game for that week.
Nice.
Battlefront 2 has been, that as well too. So there's a lot of big name games that have showed up when they do these mystery launches. So watch for that stuff on the 20th. This is your reminder. I'll remind it next week too, because it'll be out. But yeah, check it out on the 20th.
Or one might call that a
Indeed.
SJR pro tip.
Pro tip.
Brought to you by the one console that'll rule them all. Your overlords.
Yes.
All right, I didn't read this one, but you put it on here. It sounds interesting. Australia may be the next best place for video game development. Why is this?
This is because Australia, as the government there, is offering a 30% tax break to lure in some indie developers, some small developers, and even some big video game developing companies. So we could see that. I mean, the video game industry itself is roughly valued at $175 billion. That's how much they did last year and this year. Wow. So yeah, it's like they want a slice of that pie, So
I want to go to Australia.
Right? For sure.
I don't want
to go there. I think 7 out of the 10 most venomous snakes are found in Australia.
Yeah, they got some evil animals there.
Yeah, dude, bro, fucking crocodiles and shit like that. That country's not that big, bro. Crikey. So yeah, that's enough said about that. But if you're a developer and you make games in Australia, pass along the 30% off to us, because we would love to, so let us know that we were the reason.
Basically, go there and move there for no reason. Then,
yeah,
give your tax break to us.
Yes,
are you saying
indeed.
Us like us as gamers, or are you saying like us as SJR?
SJR.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll need to add a Patreon tier that's like $100 million or something like that.
Right? Yeah. Like a tax break. We get your tax break.
The second you become that patron, we actually will quit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, no, we'll quit our jobs and then we'll just do this as a living. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. It'd be so good.
There you go.
This one makes me so angry. So
your blood was boiling earlier.
It was
when I mentioned
more than boiling. Steam was coming out of my ears like a cartoon character. Yeah, exactly. So Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance gets ported to the Switch, PlayStation, Xbox. But why? I literally fucking don't understand this. I hate this. I want to throat punch the cheese dick producer that said, let's port the exact same game from 20 years ago.
Cheese dick?
Yeah, cheese dick. With only local co-op and a basic upgrade to 4K. By the way, Switch can't do 4K, bro, and there's no PC of this either. So it's so ridiculous.
Give it to him.
There's no online. There's only like I said, there's only the local co-op, so there's no online version. There's no upgrade to modern graphics. There's audio glitches. There's no remaster of the music, the story, or the voices, and they want to sell it for $30 as a singular game that they put like the bare minimum kind of effort to upgrade that to the modern day consoles. They should have packaged that with Dark Alliance 2 or have given it a proper remaster like it deserves. Now, in the last couple of years, there have been some great fucking remasters, like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the 1 and 2 bundled for $40. I mean, that's fucking money. Final Fantasy VII Remake, while I may not like the game, everyone fucking loves it for the most part.
It's awesome.
And it looks amazing. To charge $30 for a single game that looks 20 years old, or that is 20-year-old game that has just been upgraded to include 4K, it looks a little bit better. You're out of your goddamn mind.
Wait, so it's the same graphics, but it's just up-resed to 4K?
Yeah, it's up-res to 4K. It's the exact same way. They didn't do anything with the textures.
That'd be like playing Mario in 4K. Like how crisp do those lines need to be?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. So
I like my blocks crispy.
Yeah, super crisp. There's so there's a Dark Alliance game already coming out next month. And brand new with modern day graphics, and sound and audio and everything else. And you know what that cost is? It is $40. Okay. So what you're saying there is a brand new game that will be of modern day is $40. But this port that you just shoved onto people is worth $10 less than what your brand new game is going to be. And it was so weird with the announcement too. It literally came out on May 6th that game was coming out on May 7th. It was no marketing on it. It was literally like, hey, by the way, this game's coming out. Boom, there you go. It's crazy. Go fuck yourself. That's all I have to say.
Soapbox.
And then on top of that, the game that's coming out here, the new Dark Alliance game, it's coming to fucking Game Pass. You can literally get that shit for free on day one just by having that subscription to the Game Pass. And they still want to charge you $30 for a ported game that has none of the quality of life improvements at all. Even when Square re-released Crystal Chronicles, they included upgraded graphics and they included online co-op.
Yeah.
Like, all you had to do was do online co-op,
there you
bro.
Go. That's it.
Right. Like, you could have done something, but you did nothing. So
unacceptable. Unacceptable.
It's crazy.
Cheese dick.
Cheese dicks.
End rant.
The end rant. Another rant to pick up here.
Bring it
PlayStation. Yep. PlayStation 5 and the Xbox. There is that shortage of the semiconductor chip. It's probably gonna last here till at least mid 2022.
Great.
I also heard another fucking report just this morning that it's probably going to last until 2023.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This still boggles my mind. Okay, so there's a shortage, quote unquote, but also at the same time they've sold more than they've ever sold of this system. Like, they sold more PS5s than they sold the PS4s. So how is that? Is it just that the demand is so high?
No, what I think it is like they can't they can only make a limited amount because of the chips or whatever like that. Yeah. And so once they've reached the zero of the chips, they can't make any more of those.
Right, but they've made more PS5s than PS4s within that same time period, right? Because they've sold more.
So it was like, I think when we did the report a couple weeks ago, they had sold 7.6 million PS4 consoles, and they had sold 7.8 PlayStation 5 consoles within that same time frame. Not from launch, not like it was comparing launch of PlayStation 4 versus PlayStation 5. It's just saying within that same time frame, the amount of people that bought a PlayStation 5 versus a PlayStation 4, there was like 200,000 less PlayStation 4s bought during that same time, but there's a limited quantity of that PlayStation 5, so you could easily go out to your Walmart and go buy a PlayStation 4 right now because it doesn't use the same semiconductor chip. Right. So that's available. So they just don't have the fucking volume to be able to mass produce them at the moment, and that chip is going to be there's going to be a shortage of it through 2023, and I'm surprised the prices from Sony and Microsoft haven't gone up for their consoles, because typically when there's a shortage of a part, who pays for that? Not Sony or Xbox, or not Sony or Microsoft. It's going to be the consumer. And so you would think that $500 would have gone up already, but it's not. So I guess it's been lucky in that regards. But again, it's so obscene. Like, the minute anyone smells that there could be a new PlayStation or an Xbox available, it's gone within seconds because of bots. And those are still a problem. And then people will resell it for,
bastards,
twice the cost, 3 times the cost, just so that they can, make a huge profit, because everyone wants one. So I know that there were talks that they were possibly going to kind of redesign, try to find a way around the semiconductor chip for both the
I don't see how that's possible. It's an AMD chip, right? So it's a CPU.
Yeah. So I don't know how, but I don't know. They were talking about it. Who knows? I don't know.
We'll see. I have gotten both of mine already, so I feel bad for people who haven't been able to find one. But hopefully it's just conjecture and overreaction, and hopefully it won't be as bad. Maybe they'll find that in the closet or something like that, the giant cache pile of those AMD chips.
Yep. Hopefully someone bought them ahead of time and they're just like sitting in a warehouse.
There you go.
Like in boxes. Yeah. That'd be great.
We found it.
Yes, we did. The answer to everyone's problem. So that would be great. I hope that does happen at some point down the road. This is obviously impacting games too. So a lot of games that were set to release this year or set to be released earlier this year have gotten pushed back. And I think that honestly, it's because of, COVID shutting down a lot of workplaces, but this has also kind of been a blessing, because if you were one of the few people that did get a chance to buy the consoles early on, there hasn't been an overwhelming amount of new, exclusive titles that come to the brand new,
which is normal. We've talked about that too. Like the PlayStation 4 launch was just as soft, but it took a long time to get games on it that were exclusive and things.
Right, but I know there were a lot of games like Halo was supposed to come out right away.
Yes.
And that got pushed back.
That was for other reasons.
Right. Well, that was, it wasn't ready. And then there was also, I believe, Horizon and God of War was also supposed to kind of come out around the time of the launch anyways. And God of War may be getting pushed back even more. So I know we're still technically going to get Horizon this year, but that's yet to be confirmed. Maybe we'll hear something around E3 from PlayStation about that and the state of it. But who knows? But yeah, so again, right now, it's okay that there's a shortage of those chips because there's not an overwhelming amount of games that are exclusive to those platforms right now.
Right.
So it allows people kind of that breathing room to say, okay, well, I can wait until the chips are restocked so I can actually get a console, because by that point, there will actually be a couple games that I want to play.
Sure. Makes sense.
For
or
sure.
If you're like me, you need everything right away.
Right.
Then hopefully you can still get your hands on one. And you're
Absolutely.
not paying, and please refuse to pay the $800 or $900 or whatever the scalpers are paying, because
dude, I've seen them for $1,200 for the discless.
That's crazy. Wow.
I know.
You just got to be patient. Gotta be patient. And pro tip, we'll give it that. Make sure you subscribe to like Twitch channel or Twitch streams and Twitter streams and stuff like that, so you can get notified when these consoles become available, because you really do have to keep your ear close to the ground. The second you see one is in stock, go to the website and try to buy it. And that's what I did, and I got both. So
yeah, I want to say GameStop and Best Buy do a pretty good job at letting people know like when they've got the consoles available.
I don't think this is in the news bites, but did you hear about Microsoft is doing something where you can pre-order the X and guarantee it through your console?
Really?
Yeah, so they're gonna have a thing for Microsoft insiders or Xbox insiders or whatever you call it, where from their console they can basically sign up to purchase an Xbox Series X, and they're gonna guarantee those. So bots can't, because it's a tied to your account. So
nice.
So they hopefully will be able to get around the scalpers that way.
That's awesome. That'd be great.
So look for that too. They should be doing that soon.
Hell yeah.
All right, one last thing.
Wrap it up, man.
Take
Tell
it
me
home.
about this.
Take it home.
You take it home.
All right. LucasArts.
I've never played this game.
I wasn't actually telling you to take it home. I was just saying take it home, and then I was planning on saying it.
No,
so
okay.
That's funny. All right, LucasArts classic Zombies Ate My Neighbors returns to consoles and PC next month, baby. I don't know if you've never played this.
I've never played it. I tell me about it.
So LucasArts, obviously, you've played LucasArts games in the past.
Yeah.
So they made this game called Zombies Ate My Neighbors for Super Nintendo. And it might have been out for Sega, I can't remember. But it's awesome. It's so fun. It's like a top-down shooter where zombies try to attack you, and you have to free the neighbors. There's people that are being held hostage, and you got to collect all the people or whatever, save all the people, and defeat the zombies. But you don't have to kill them all. You just have to get to a portal. There's a door that you have to find that's just floating ominously out there that you have to get to the end of the level by going through that door. And then you go on to other levels, and sometimes there's bosses. There's this one level where there's a gigantic baby, literally it takes up the whole screen, and it's running around this football field that's all destroyed and everything. And that's one of the bosses. You have to destroy this giant baby. It's hilarious.
That's awesome.
So good.
Okay.
And by the way, the guns and stuff, your main gun is a water gun, and it's like a machine gun that just shoots water, and that's what kills the zombies. It's awesome.
Awesome. Are there any great sound clips from this game? Is there any talking at all?
Yeah, there's a lot of awesome sound effects, but to be honest, I can't think of any at the moment. You got to check out. Just go check out the video for this, and you'll see why It's so awesome. It's just like retro and. Mm-hmm.
I want like the Troll 2 kind of thing. Like they're eating her and they're going to eat me too. Oh my God.
It's very tongue in cheek like that. Like if you see it, if you look at the cover, it's like a zombie alien kind of like 1970s looking type of thing. So yeah, but the game's not like that at all. The game is like pretty modern, but yeah, cool. It's an awesome callback to the 90s, and it's a great game. You can play it co-op. I believe this version adds online co-op as well. Nice. But it definitely has couch co-op. 2 people running around simultaneously, killing zombies, helping each other out. You got to get keys and unlock doors, and there's all these interesting mechanics that they add later.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check this game out.
It's kind of like Smash. It's kind of like Smash TV, where it's like you have to get through the different levels, but they keep getting progressively harder and harder.
Nice.
So you don't say like you can't. Oh, I'm not sure if you can say. I think you might be able to save it in this new one, but in the past you couldn't. So if you got to like, and there's a bunch of levels, like 100 or more. So if you get, and they're all very different. Also, think of like a Where's Waldo book. Like how those environments are, and there's like weird shit happening and goofy things everywhere.
Yeah,
that's what this is like.
Hell yeah.
And it's just so good. And then there's a second game that they came out with, which is not as good, but still cool that it's part of this, because this is a collection of these 2 games. So you get Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which is the really good one. And then the other one is, I think it's called Ghoul Patrol. And it's basically the sequel.
Nice.
So very good. Very good.
Very cool. How much is it going to be?
I think it's only $15.
Okay, cool.
It's a must. It's a must buy.
A moderately priced re-release. I can appreciate that.
2 games.
Yeah, with 2 games for $15.
Yeah.
Unlike those cock cheeses, those dick cheese motherfuckers. Fuck that, man.
Yes. All right.
I get heated.
You are very angry.
I am.
All right. Well, anyways, that's all we've got for you guys this week. Remember, Super Joystick Radio is a weekly show, so please subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast application, iTunes. And also follow us on Twitch and follow us on or subscribe on YouTube, please. We have 74 subscribers right now on YouTube. We need to get to 100 at least so we can get our custom URL, I'm told.
Woo.
Yes. So anyways, become a patron at patreon.com/superjoystickradio. $1 gets you early access to the audio version of the show. $3 gets you exclusive access to our show notes and also access to the SJR Banter archives, where we have a whole bunch of stuff that's been cut from before, during, and after the show. I think there's over 100 episodes in there that you can check out. And $5 gets all of those perks, plus a Discord badge on our Discord server and a mention on the show. Shout-outs right now to our $5 patrons: Phil Lynch, Joe Halder, Rob Belchunas, Nick, last name not specified, Caitlin, Chrissy, Justin D,
hello,
Maddie Deebs, C Fresh, and Jay Schmed. That was a really, really good one. I liked that. I enjoyed that thoroughly. Also, all tiers get discounts in our merch store, where you can find things like SJR jump ropes.
Oh, I'm blanking.
I had a good one the other day, and I can't remember what it was.
I'm sitting in a hot closet. Maybe SJR
fans. SJR fan.
Oh, yes, a fan would be delightful now.
Or a hat fan, like one of those hats that has a fan built into the brim.
Or like a hat that has the drinking.
Oh yeah, the beers.
Yes,
beer helmet.
A beer helmet.
SJR beer helmets.
SJR beer helmet.
This is just gold.
Yep.
I don't know.
Super gold.
All right.
Let's quit our jobs. Let's just go make those right now.
Follow us on Twitter at SJoystickRadio. Follow us on Instagram at SuperJoystickRadio. Subscribe on YouTube, like I said, for Let's Plays and streams. Sub to the Twitch channel so you can be notified when we go live. Usually every Sunday.
Yep.
Or Saturday, but usually Sunday.
Yep, sometimes on the weekend.
Yeah, and visit superjoystickradio.com for all the social media links, the merch store, and you can join our Discord server on there. You can also see what we're talking about on the Discord server without even having to sign up or anything, which is kind of cool, unless it broke. It uses this bot thing that sometimes stops working, but it should be up. It's got a really high uptime, like 99%.
Nice.
And please leave us a text or a voicemail via the SJR hotline, which is 630-551-8898. That's 630-551-8898. We love to hear from you guys. We want you to be part of the conversation. So we do appreciate the people that were in Twitch today. You guys have had a real healthy chat there, which is really exciting. And we try to chat back with you and mention things that you say on the show.
Unless you tell us to buy subscribers, and then we say, fuck you.
Get out of here, cheese dick. What'd you say?
Just something like that. You can suck my dick.
Okay. Whoa.
Yeah.
Earning that explicit rating today.
Yeah. Yes, we are. I just realized that. That's my bad. Sorry, moms that listen to our thing.
That's okay. I think there's only like one mom that listens to the show, and it's mine, and she's crying. Thanks a lot.
Sorry, Mom.
All right. Get in on the conversation. We'd love to hear your feedback or topic ideas on any platform. Like a grade school birthday party, nobody leaves empty-handed. Here's your goodie bag for the week. Justin, what do you have for the good people?
Yes, Invincible on Amazon is so good. If you haven't seen it, you are missing out. It was an 8-episode like mini series. I'm sure they're gonna do multiple seasons. It's based up on the comic book. It is brilliant. It is gory. Possibly my favorite show of 2021.
Ooh.
Also, Mythic Quest has returned. So I talked about this before. It's about the gaming company. It's from the developer. It's from literally the creators of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So season 2 has come back. It's on Apple Plus. Check it out. It's fucking awesome. Andy, what do you got, buddy?
Nice. I've been getting back into Studio Ghibli movies as I've recently discovered that I think all of them are on HBO Max.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I started with Ponyo at one of my coworkers' advisements. My daughter actually she wanted my daughter to see it. So I showed Ponyo to her and she loved it, which is awesome. So I'm going through like the rest of the catalog and like showing her different things. Right now we're on, excuse me, Howl's Moving Castle, which is one of my favorite Studio Ghibli movies. And so she's digging it. We're only about like 20 minutes into that one, but nice. I actually watched it by myself last night. So
did you nice. Did you have you watched Floating Castle one?
No,
I saw
that. I saw that it's on there, but I haven't I watched it. So I'm looking forward to watching all these Studio Ghibli movies, including the ones that I have never seen. So
yeah,
very cool.
All right, buddy.
We love the anime.
Yes, we do.
All right. Anyways, that's all we've got for you guys this week. Thanks for listening. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers.